YouTube has games now. In fact, dare say they may have a little too many games. So many games that this video was started the end of October? Ooh. Well, it's out, we're here, and so I have rated all roughly 130 games. I put S for these supers. These are the games that are honestly A, but really cater towards what I am looking for in something like this. I put K for any that felt kid or kid-coded, and then C's pass, C's get degrees, so these games were just A-okay. Couldn't have been better, but at least they work. Now, of course, these are just my opinions. If you want to add or change up yours, you can go ahead to the link in the description. I have the tier list, and at the time of doing this, it's live. Also, before we get too far into this video, I want to give a honorary S tier to Game Snacks. They seem to be the ones providing most, if not a good half of these games on this list, as well as them being the equivalent of Y8 games or whatever JavaScript background game you had growing up in school. We start out with 2048 Fusion, and I gave that one a B. I didn't want to start the list off too high, and honestly, this is a game that we are very familiar with. It's cute, it works, very good for what we get. I did like the power-ups that came with it, it did a little bit of some differences, and it works in the best way you want it. Next up, I ranked 8-Ball Billiards an A. It was really well rendered for it being in conjunction with YouTube. It was fun that it had a 2-player mode, which I was not expecting for these kinds of games. Now, a pattern I'm noticing within these games is there will be humans and then robots. In this case, I wish it had a nice little robot setter difficulty, so that way you could actually play with it and change it up, because once you learn the pattern, it gets easy to recognize. But for it being just a simple YouTube game, it absolutely gets a good grade. 99 balls in 3D. It gets a C. Now, this may be for somebody else. I've noticed as well a lot of these games have really good ASMR quality to them. Half of why you can play it, depending on what you're doing, it just blends in with a podcast. But for me, I kind of... It's a short burst game, like when you're waiting for the train, but you don't really want to get too deep. Adorable home. It absolutely lived up to its name. It was cute. It was very, very reminiscent of games that I played in my teens. However, they messed up my husband. Look at what they... A fair warning that I want to give when it comes to some of these games. It does seem like with the way they were hit-mill programmed, that they're not entirely set for phone and tablet. I'm also playing these without anything else running in the background, so if a game is already breaking and glitching, it's kind of a sign. In the case of Adorable Home, I wanted to give it an F so bad, but that little bit, and you can't change the husband at the end either, like that's my man. Alien Shooter, it gets a D. Now, if we were to grade this off of how it was going, C. I'd be nice and I'd give it a C, but the fact that it kind of glitched in the middle of the match and I had to just restart, like, nah, like, that's a total deal breaker. So if we rank it, I give it a D for the way it worked, and I give it an F for crashing. AMAZE. Now this one gets an A. When you look at it, you've probably seen this kind of game in some commercials, but it's not bad. Like, once you really get into the flow of it and you have a podcast in the background, this just melts like butter. It just has the right visuals and right stimuli for something like this. Good on them. Angry Birds Showdown. Now, a part of me is honestly kind of shocked that Angry Birds is still going. Like, it was the peak of the phone era, yes, but we're still keeping it going. Good on them though. I thought the movie was gonna be its peak and it was just over. Game wise, I give it a B for Bird. It's always been fun, it's always been nice, but it's kind of a, oh hey, it's that game from your childhood that you could get for free. You play it for 20 minutes, you get that nostalgia, and then you probably don't touch it again unless you're really bored. Attack Hole. Lit. I know, like, just listen. This game, I was ready for this to be a crapshoot, but this one was not that bad. There's just something that is satisfying about collecting with your hole. When you play with this one, it has that sandbox quality, and I wish that at least the textures and things would have been better. Yes, for what it is, it gets a B, but we could be better. Ball Blast, it gets a B. This is familiar. Like, I know that this game, well, no matter what the original name was, you know this game. You've seen this game. No matter the texture of the wallpaper, you've been in this house, in the middle of the street. It's fun. I like the coins. A part of me wishes that some of these games would use the points and coins a little better, but for this one, you're more inclined to just collect what you can, get what you can, and over time, if you play something like this enough, then you can change the design to the canon, so it feels like you earn some achievements. Basket Battle Kids. Listen. Sue me if maybe just maybe I am bad at this one, but I had to give this one a K. Just the something about the hand that pops up in the video, something about the way this is set up feels like one of those back alley app store games that you would see. And realistically, you would never download this. You would never personally play it. Like, this feels like your cousin when you hand them the phone plays this game. But you're like, what is this? But you're like, you know what? Since they downloaded anyway, I'ma play it. I get the appeal of it. I get the googly eyes, and for some people, it does it. But when you factor in those little bits that they couldn't iron out, like, oh no, children most likely were watching ads to get as much money in this currency game as possible so they can dress up Mr. Googly Eyes Man. So for that, I'm giving it a kids, but if you like it, I'm not calling you a child. Basketball Fever. This one is an S tier. Like, look at it. Look at it. It operates so smooth. It has all the right sounds. I love the little swish on it. This is circa the paper toss game. The throw the pennies in the butt crack of the guy. This is everything that you want from this kind of game, if you ask me. Speaking of another S tier, Bazooka Boy. Like, I will admit, I was not expecting Bazooka Boy to really have my interest given the designing of it. But once you see the ragdoll physics, like, look at him! Oh, I love it. This is the perfect kind of time waster. This is the perfect kind of game that you can just, like, come back to no matter how many times because it's just so, it's fun. It's so fun. This is a good example that just because the graphics are not as high up as a lot of them, it can still be very good on the mechanic side. Block Drop. This one's a C. This is the wood ones that you see, the non-linear Tetris. Might have played this. It's a simple puzzle game. It's one of those good ones that you can get sucked into with a podcast, but it's not that game that you're like, oh yeah, I got off of work, I'm getting off on my shift, what am I gonna play? Block Drop. Maybe for some of you, but for me, this is a classic C. Bolly Beat. I wanted Bolly Beat to be good. I wanted to enjoy this. But having a musically inclined game on YouTube, it kind of feels a little counterproductive if you ask me. Most of the time I want a podcast on or something, unless it's going to be some really good music in this thing. You could then play it without the music and go with the feeling of the ball or go with the pattern it's trying to get you to follow. But this game crashed on the tablet. The footage you're seeing, I had to re-record on my phone because I wanted to really give every game a chance in this scenario. And even then, I still wanted to we'll give it a D for trying. Bottle Jump 3D. Another C in the mix. Like, it's fun, it's meh. Again, it feels like one of those games that you like put in the corner to have certain people feel stimulated while something is going on. Wait a minute. Brain out. This one gets a B for brain. It's nice. It's cool. I'm always down for a good art style. It's the nice little puzzler that you can scratch your head at, but I will say sometimes, like it's hard. This is not a puzzle game that's gonna walk you by the hand. This one's gonna make you get a little bit angry, throw the phone, and sometimes I think it's a good thing. Get back to work. Bridge race. I swear, if I have to see this game on another commercial, like, I'm not gonna lie, for that alone, I was so close to rating it low. But once I found out that you can hit the competition, ooh, it was over. It became so much more fun that I almost gave it an A. Almost. It was just fun to get to the top, steal everything from everybody, and then, no, get out of here. You are a loser. Your fate is decided. We'll give it an honorary S. Bubble pop, bubble pop. It gets a C, but this is a good C for classic. It does what it needs to do, but it's a basic game. It's a classic game that holds you good. Bubble Shooter. Compared to what we just saw, Bubble Shooter, I'm not gonna give it a D because it's functioning, it works, but aesthetically speaking, what is that texture? Why is it like that? Who? Why? The bubble should not be sandy. We have another S tier for Cards of the Undead. I was not expecting something like this to be just really good on YouTube. This is highly working compared to the glitches and things I was worried the other games had. This one functioned really nice. I could sit and genuinely play this for a while. Like, this is a game that normally I would pay a developer at least like $5 on the App Store for. And for me to be able to just play this for free with no ads, because that is at least the big thing you gotta give YouTube for this, is that you don't get ads in the game. Most of these games were the worst and sucky because you had to constantly deal with the ads, deal with all this, oh, watch a video so that way you can get some in-digital currency, because like you're gonna spend your real money. No. This is S. S. And it seems like the S's like to come in pairs because Carrom Clash. Ooh. I am happy that one of the more Bollywood Indian-inspired games made it this high on the list, because this is one of those, it's hard to learn, but it makes you want to get better. Like, I was dare say getting an addiction to this one. I got absolutely mad when I would lose to one of the bots and then be so down to play more. if there was any comment, because there is one game on this list that managed to do what I'm asking here, is I wish that it didn't have the gambling system. I wish that you could just earn money, and then you can continue to unlock more people, get more people. I did really like as well that you could buy different pucks. It felt like your money was actually going towards something. And with the way that they had it all set up, that you could add the power to it and just essentially buy your way to victory, I'll give it that. It had that good progression. Canon Balls! 3D. We really like our 3D games these days, and our 3D models, so I can't complain. This one was satisfying. This one had that breaker room energy, and you can't get as much of that physics feel with the 2D games. For what it is, it does its good job, so certified banger. Chess Classic. It's a C, because chess is chessing. Like, what more could you want? It's chess. Moving on. Collect them all. It's a B. Not bad. It's a nice little change with the 3D texturing on them. Usual that you can spend your money on coins to help with power-ups, help you to move along the game, your events. But do you see that? That is my issue lately. A lot of these games have these fake people with these weird, feels like AI profiles. And it's like, I don't want it. Just tell me a robot, put a fake little robot in the game that's like Commando Master 64, who I can feel confident and fun about beating. Don't put Sharon's Facebook photo from 2008 in my game, thank you. Color match. This one gets an A for artist approved. I really like this one. I'm not gonna lie, I did not like the sounds. Ooh, no. It sounds like wet oatmeal. It sounds like somebody stirring macaroni. Never put this sound in my game again. Not gonna lie, this is why. This is why normally I play these games mute, and if there's certain points where I had to fill in audio, it is because I forgot and really zoned into them. This one, for what it is and what it's offering, really good. You can get a lot of color variation. There were some points where it felt like you just had to keep dipping and stirring until just something worked. But I'm not mad about it. Color page ASMR though. This one feels like a kid's game, and the biggest thing that just made it feel like that was the fact that it just kept grabbing me of like, little one, click it like this, move the circle like this. Like, I know what I'm doing. Let me play my game. Get out, move. I don't need you. When I need you to tell me what to do, I will get your, child game. Aside from that though, I can get where for some people they don't want a high stakes shoot 'em up. They don't want to have to rack their brain. Some people just want a YouTube podcast in the background and they want to just play with a little ASMR game that goes over top what they're doing. And it's something, if it makes you happy, I'm down for it. But I'm still gonna rate it a kid's game. Color Pixel Art Classic. B. I like games like this. My only thing is I wish it would have been more, oh, I can drag my finger or my pencil across it and it'll just color each little one. Nah, this one you had to hit each individual pixel. And for some people, that is the ASMR. That is the relaxant that they want in the middle of their whatever they're watching or they're listening to. But overall, it had a lot of art. I was impressed by the sheer volume that they give you for this, so it definitely had to get a B. Time to circle back around to some of the new stuff that came in. Color Water Sort. This one gets an A. It's easy, it's simple, gets the job done. one of those games that I remember seeing in ads. I remember it being a very popular puzzler. What I really like about this one is that it gives you the different beakers and test tubes, and honestly, just playing the game and progressing gets you way better stuff than trying to unlock it yourself. The only thing, and this is like what gets it an honorary quote-unquote F. I'll still put an A, but it gets an F because it potentially might have taken from a certain game that I think we know. I think we know who this might be. Crazy Caves. Now this is a game that is very similar to one we just saw. However, just the way it's packaged, it brings it up a little higher. That is why I have to give this one an A compared to Ball Blast getting its grade. I just love the little miner chucking and yucking at all the rocks. I like the progress bar on it. It has that good balance of the diamond and the special purple currency that every game likes to have. And it feels like as you're upgrading, it progresses well. You don't feel like you're falling behind. You don't feel like you don't know what you're doing. It's just you and the open mind. Cube Tower. It gets an A. It does what it says on the package. It gives you what you're looking for. I only have to play like 7 minutes of this game to really get what you get out of it, but for what you do get, it's great. Cut the rope? Okay, come on, this is cheating. Of course I have to give one of the best games of the era an S. Like, do you know how significant Omnom was to gaming society as we know it? I am glad that they are kind of just taking some of these very good old games and just kind of cleaning up the UI so they work in this platform. Nothing I have to say, it's Omnom. Hi, this is Qcopter, coming in last minute to bring some edits. B to Cube Master 3D. C to Color Burst, draw the line. A, please continue on with your video. I must go. The people need me. Goodbye. Daily Crossword. But the is really tiny, so that's why we can include in the D era. Now, if you like crossword, this is a good crossword. It does the thing where it can tell you what's right, what's wrong. It can tell you if just specific letters are right or wrong. If you're like me, it's fun to just go and poke around and try to see how many you can get off the top of your head. But for what it is, I'm giving it an A. Another double header for Daily Solitaire and Daily Solitaire? I don't see why we need to have multiple of what is the original game. But if we're gonna be biased here, I like the blue one a little bit more than I like the green one. And kind of the reason for that is the blue one was more drag and drop based, whereas the other one was more click based. And come on, like I'm grasping for straws here. You're giving me 2 Daily Solitaires. They're both getting the same B rank, but if I gotta make commentary, this is what I'm giving you. Dessert DIY. This is the epitome of a kid's game. It's the discount Billie Eilish that you know is Billie Eilish. It's the references to poop in there. Like, which one of you wants this? Who is not, like, within the age of above 12? No judgment, this is what you want. This is the kind of games you want to play and do in your free time. But the animations in it, the way this is run, I feel like I'm being held for ransom and forced to work a laborious job, but not in the fun Animal Crossing Tom Nook kind of way. I feel like someone has locked me down here, and I have to pay them to make my living situation just a little more tolerable each and every time I serve these desolate people. But then with that said, listen, I I may have sunk way more time into the dig deep. This is what started this whole stinking tier list. I spent so much time on this that, oh, it was an issue, but for the way that this game runs, for the way that this just eats at your brain in that kind of gaming way, I have to give it an S. What can I say? Game recognizes game. Lots of things love to come in pairs around here, and we have... Why is it delete one part 2 and then draw one part 4? Like, I don't get it, but they're very good. I have to give them that. Both of them are A-tier games. For delete one part, I like the mechanics of it. I like how it puzzles, but it's not a hardcore, you have to be smart kind of puzzler. And then draw one part. It's similar, you can tell they're from the same people, but I'm still wondering now, like, if there's 4 of this one, and there's 2 of the other one, are we gonna get the rest of them? Did YouTube only get the license to specifically 2 and 4? Draw Climber. This one gets a B. Now, I like drawing, I'm an artist, but this one doesn't hit that scratch for me. I know for some people it does, but this one is one of those, you either really like it or you pass on it. But for the way that the mechanics work, it's definitely a B. Drawing Carnival. On one hand, I'm tempted to put this one as another K. But because it combines all of the elements from the prior games you saw on the list from the similar company, I'm gonna at least give it a B. Because that alone gives it just enough of a tycoon gaming intention that if you're bored, you're, okay, I haven't seen this Homer Simpson, non-specifically Homer Simpson, because we can't get the copyright to him piece in the corner. Let me spritz it with the neon effect. Oh, I can spend my coins to get other little effects. So I do enjoy this one. This is how you can take the format and still make it tolerable. Decor Life sadly also gets an F. I liked this one. This one was so cute. It had so much potential. Everything was right about this, but no. It had to go and break. It had to go and completely crash everything. And all over this sexy, sexy shelf. Like, these ladies couldn't handle it. Overall, YouTube games ranked at about a solid B, maybe B minus, maybe B plus. I would say overall though, they all ranked as a B. It's nice that they're adding stuff like this to YouTube. And sure, part of it is a ploy to keep you on the platform longer. But if you're somebody who already plays these games anyway, being able to free up the space from your phone is really nice. This video originally started off around 85 to 87 games, and it just kept going until I counted about 135, closer towards 140 now by the time this is done. I promise most videos will not be this. I'm glad that streaming is starting to get set up. I plan on adding in the Twitch throwing system, so definitely stay tuned for when I start streaming. Thanks for watching my video. This has been Q Artistry. If you've enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe. See you around.